Hey guys! So, I am working on a new project and I thought I would show you the goods before it becomes whatever it becomes, because who knows what this will become. It's going to be a tablecloth. It's 100 inches long by like 40 inches wide, maybe. That's the surface of the table. And this is going to be for my niece. She's getting married next year and we're having a bridal shower for her next month. So I have to have it done like ASAP. So I thought I would show you kind of what I'm working on and what my thoughts are behind what I'm going to do. So here's my tablecloth. It is extra big. And the thing that she likes is hand stitched. And I don't have enough time to hand stitch. So I got to thinking what could mimic the look of hand stitching. And this is what I came up with. So I am going to stitch yarn on to the tablecloth. And I have a different, I guess, different widths of yarn. So some are a little bit fluffier than the other. This one is really, really thin. So I'm not sure yet which one will be the one that I go and buy more of, but hopefully one will work because I have like 3 weeks. So she bought some artwork on Etsy, and this is, let's see if you can see it. This is what it's going to look like when it's all done. Fingers crossed. I went ahead and I laid it out in Illustrator and I tiled it myself. And I put numbers on all of the rows. So if you can see here, like I have 1, 2, 3, 4 tabloid size 11 by 17 size sheets of paper, and they're all going to say 1 on it here. These are all going to say 2 on it. These are all saying 3, 4, 5. So that'll just help me be able to figure out where all the things need to go. So this is my little key. Excited about that. And so yes, this is what I was talking about. I need to put all these pieces of paper together and then somehow trace them to my tablecloth so I can stitch the yarn on top of it. This is going to be a little crazy. I don't know how it'll turn out. This is what one of the rows will look like. It's going to be big. And hopefully it's going to be beautiful. So I'm excited to come back here and show you what this is going to turn into. So please wish me luck because I don't know if I can do it. We'll see. See you in a bit. This is what I'm working off of. I've divided all of my sections into 11 by 17 pages, and I've printed those, and I am going to show you how I am tracing them. So I don't have a light box, but what I do have is a U-Do, and I'm all about using what you have. I am going to tape the paper down that I'm tracing so I don't end up moving it. And using a light box really helps. I can line up one edge to the area that's lit up. And I can use the side edges also. And I've already done some of the drawings, so I have already kind of found my center and found, you know, what edges are going to overlap and overlay off the table. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trace the bow to the tablecloth, and that's what I'll use as my guide for the yarn that I'll be stitching onto the tablecloth. I might need to zoom in, and this is actually such a better pencil. So I am just going to go ahead and try to keep one clean line, because if you have a really thick line, you might not be able to cover it with your yarn. I really wanted a large area to do this, because this tablecloth is about 100 inches, 100 and, I don't know, 12 inches maybe. So it really helps to do this on a table where you can kind of spread out and make sure your surface is nice and flat. Okay, and so I've already done the other parts of this, and next thing I'm going to do is take this to the sewing machine and sew. And I'm just gonna free draw the rest of the bow. So we'll just go like that. And like that. The bow is the only thing that's gonna really go off of the edge. Okay, I like it. Oh, it looks like I missed this part of the bow. So I'll just do that real quick. I am so excited. This has been going so well. I'm almost done. Next weekend is my deadline. Actually, this weekend is my deadline. Excuse me. And I am happy to say I will meet my deadline. It's always a plus. So the next thing I have to do is cover this ribbon, this bow, with the yarn. So I have my freezer paper. The freezer paper has been so good. Like, it has minimalized the puckering when applying the ribbon. That gives it a perfect little surface. And I'm just going to kind of rip a piece off and then get a feel for how big I want it. I don't need, and I'm going to clean it up because I did a poor job keeping this straight. So I'll just go ahead and kind of snip that off. Now I only need to cover the bow, and it is a little bit harder to manage because the paper starts coming off, so I don't want a lot of extra bulk, and I can use these pieces later. So I'll just go ahead and cut it down. So that's good. And probably will just cut it down to here. Okay, so that will cover that. And these little extra scraps will do a good job covering the rest. Okay, so I like that. I'm going to take it to the back side, and I can barely see it, but I can kind of see it, and that's really convenient. And I can always kind of fold over. Yep, it's there. And yep, it's here. So that's where I want it. And I want to make sure that my surface is flat because I don't want to give myself folds that I will sew into the tablecloth. That would not be good. And I'm going to kind of just eyeball it. Here's the top. Here's the top. So I'm just going to iron the freezer paper directly to the back side of the tablecloth. And it's so cool how it adheres and it comes off easily and it doesn't leave a residue. So cool. Haven't used it very much, but I am a big fan. So here is where it stops, and here is where it starts. So I'll go ahead and just cover that as well. And I will show you just for fun. Okay, this is nice and attached, right? And then you can reattach it. It's so cool. And I'm just gonna trim this extra off. Okay. Alright. We are just about done. I can I have this teeny piece that I cut off. That will just be perfect. Frankenstein this freezer paper together, and this is how I would do it. So that's why I am doing it like this with you guys.
I have my Bernina ready to go. I'm just going to change my foot. Okay. I have my quilting gloves. I have scissors within reach. I have my yarn within reach. So I am ready to go. I have my ironing board right next to me.
And this helps with the weight of the tablecloth. So I'm putting the tablecloth on the ironing board. Now I have dropped my feed dogs and unplugged my foot pedal and changed the BRS setting to 1. So now I'm just going to hit the button that starts the BRS function. And I really tried to secure the start point of the yarn and the ending point of the yarn with a lot of back and forth to really catch that full piece of yarn, because yarn is made of multiple strands, so it's going to want to unravel naturally. So if you really tack that down, it will have a hard time unraveling. I am going to cut off a piece of yarn so I don't have the whole ream of yarn right next to me that I'm dealing with, bringing that in and out of the machine throat. So I started to just cut off a long piece of yarn so I had less to deal with. That made it a lot easier. And I am just going to use my fingers to guide the yarn. And of course I want to make sure everything is flat, nice and flat under my needle. And I'm just going to go through all the lines and carefully place the yarn into place and kind of push and pull it to where it will cover the lines. When I get to a corner or a curve, a sharp curve, I will also kind of really try to tack that down into place, and with quite a few stitches, and that will hopefully give me a nice angle or curve for that corner. And you know, I did have to take out a few stitches here and there, especially when I had the camera going. But I do always try to get those threads out of the way. I don't want to end up having a big nest under the tablecloth. So I'll go ahead and do that. I'll bring the threads to the top again and just tack down again with quite a few threads and keep on going. It is handmade, so everything is not going to be perfect, and I'm okay with that. It's the beauty of handmade. I will go ahead and speed this up so that you guys can watch it a little faster so it doesn't go as slow. And I really hope you enjoy this project. I had a lot of fun making it, and I am so happy to be able to make this for my niece.
tablecloth. How do you think it's looking? Very crazy, probably. I'll go ahead and show you, since we're already here, how to pull the freezer paper out after you have sewn it. And it's pretty simple. Like, you just try to release the outside, and when you release the outside, the inside becomes easier to release. If you need tweezers, you can always use tweezers. You really want to not disturb the stitches too much, though. So I like to hold the stitches while I pull, so it doesn't, you're less likely to break the stitches, and also you're less likely to skew and distort the fabric and stitches. So I'm super excited with how this is coming. I think it's gonna look really nice. It is definitely not perfect, but it is also very handmade and funky. So, okay. Now I used the black on white because that is what my niece wanted for her bridal shower. You can always use different colors. I would always match my thread with whatever yarn I use. Okay, a little pile of trash now to deal with. Okay, let's see. Give you a little sneak peek at how everything is turning out. The vino bottle was so much fun. The cheers glasses as well. I can't wait to put this on a big enough table to be able to see how it looks. Thank you so much for watching, and I will have a blog post that relates to this and have step-by-step instructions, a few more photos, and all kinds of stuff on my blog. So look for the link in the show notes, the YouTube notes, and I will see you next time. You have a wonderful New Year's? Yes, New Year's. Tomorrow will be New Year's. Okay. Thank you and bye.